Black screen, silence. Then a flicker. A phone screen lights up in the dark. No signal, no Wi-Fi. A message fails to send. Another retry. Nothing. Across the world, billions of screens begin to glow and then freeze. Airports stall mid-operation. Banks stop processing. Emergency systems hesitate. Somewhere, a satellite continues orbiting, but no one is listening. And in that quiet moment, humanity faces a question it has never truly prepared for. What if the internet disappeared? Forever. For decades, the internet has become the invisible foundation of modern civilization. It is not just social media, not just videos, not just entertainment. It is infrastructure. It is communication. It is commerce. It is power. From global finance to hospital systems, from military coordination to everyday navigation, the internet is the silent nervous system of our world. And yet, for all its importance, few people understand how fragile it really is. Because the internet is not one single thing. It is a vast, decentralized web of cables, servers, satellites, and protocols. Remove it and the world doesn't just slow down, it unravels. Let's define the scenario. This is not a temporary outage, not a cyber attack, not a blackout that lasts hours or days. In this scenario, the internet is gone, permanently. Every server offline, every data center inaccessible, every connection between networks severed. No recovery, no backups, no restart. It's as if the digital layer of civilization never existed. To understand the impact, we must first understand the role the internet plays. It is easy to think of it as optional, but it isn't. The internet connects. Financial systems that move trillions of dollars, daily supply chains that deliver food, medicine, and fuel, communication networks between governments and citizens, navigation systems, guiding ships, planes, and vehicles, cloud storage, holding vast portions of human knowledge, even systems that appear offline, often rely on internet synchronization behind the scenes. Atoms, traffic control, power grids, air traffic coordination. The internet is not a convenience, it is a dependency. There was a time before the internet. Letters took days, sometimes weeks. News traveled slowly. Businesses operated locally. Information was scarce. But that world was built differently. It had systems designed for delay, redundancies based on physical processes, human coordination instead of digital automation. Today's world is not that world. We have optimized everything for speed, for efficiency, for instant access. And in doing so, we have removed the buffers. The moment the internet disappears, confusion begins. At first, people assume it's a glitch. A regional outage, a temporary disruption. They restart devices, switch networks. Wait, but the problem spreads globally. Banks stop processing transactions. Online payments fail. Credit cards stop working in many places. Stock markets freeze, then panic. Airlines ground flights, not because planes can't fly, but because coordination collapses. Navigation systems lose real-time updates. Communication between control towers and aircraft becomes limited. Hospitals begin to struggle. Patient records stored in cloud systems become inaccessible. Doctors lose instant access to critical information. Emergency response slows because dispatch systems depend on network connectivity. Within days, the deeper consequences emerge. Supply chains break. Modern logistics rely heavily on internet-connected systems. Inventory tracking fails. Shipping routes become inefficient. Deliveries are delayed or lost entirely. Supermarkets begin to empty, not because food doesn't exist, but because distribution fails. Fuel supplies become inconsistent. Gas stations rely on digital payment systems. Refineries rely on network coordination. Communication becomes fragmented. Without messaging apps, email, or social platforms, people turn to older methods. Phone lines, radio, face-to-face interaction. But these systems are overwhelmed. They were never designed to handle the full weight of global communication again. By the second week, the psychological impact sets in. People feel isolated, disconnected. Information becomes unreliable. Without centralized platforms, rumors spread quickly. Trust begins to erode. Financial systems face severe instability. Global markets cannot function without real-time data. Banks limit withdrawals. Governments intervene, but coordination is slow because even government systems relied on the internet. Businesses shut down. Remote work becomes impossible. Digital services vanish overnight. Entire industries collapse. E-commerce, streaming, online education, cloud-based software. Millions lose jobs almost instantly. Humanity begins to adapt, but the transition is painful. Analog systems return, paper records. Manual processes, local networks, radio communication. Some regions stabilize faster than others. Communities with strong local infrastructure recover better, but globally inequality increases. Developed economies, heavily dependent on digital systems, suffer massive disruption. Some developing regions, less reliant on the internet, adapt more quickly. Governments attempt to rebuild communication networks, but recreating the internet is not simple. It took decades to build and required global cooperation. Now, with fractured systems and economic strain, that cooperation becomes difficult. Years pass. The world stabilizes, but it is not the same. Globalization slows. International trade becomes more limited. Information becomes localized. Knowledge is no longer instantly accessible. Education changes. Research slows. Innovation declines, at least temporarily. But something else happens too. Communities become more self-reliant. Local economies strengthen. Face-to-face interaction returns. People begin to value physical presence again. The world becomes smaller, not in technology, but in reach. This scenario reveals a truth. The internet is not just a tool. It is a layer of reality we have built on top of the physical world. Remove it and the underlying structure is exposed. Fragile, incomplete, unprepared for reversal. Unlike electricity, which has physical alternatives, the internet is deeply embedded in how systems communicate. Without it, coordination becomes the greatest challenge. Is such a scenario realistic? A complete, permanent disappearance of the internet is extremely unlikely, because the internet is decentralized. There is no single switch to turn it off. However, large-scale disruptions are possible. Cyber warfare, solar storms, infrastructure failures, these could cause regional or temporary collapses. And even short-term outages have shown how disruptive they can be. Now imagine that, multiplied and made permanent. This scenario is not just about technology. It is about dependence, about resilience, about whether humanity has built a system it can no longer function without. Have we traded stability for convenience, efficiency for fragility, speed for sustainability? The internet connects us, empowers us, transforms how we live. But it also binds us to a system we barely understand, a system we rarely question. If it disappeared forever, humanity would survive, it always does, but the world that emerges would be slower, more local, more uncertain, and perhaps more aware of what was lost. Because if losing the internet could reshape civilization this dramatically, then one question remains: what would happen if something even more fundamental disappeared next?